family, this is DP. I want to talk about a couple things today. I think often when we talk about the marketplace and we talk about what God has called us to do in the marketplace as believers, and again, I recognize that people have their own belief, but my belief is that of Jesus Christ. I want to put that out front. I've experienced something, and this has just happened. The Lord gave me a promise. I was 22 years old. I was in France. I was playing basketball overseas. I was coming out of a divorce, and my mind was not in a place that I truly believed in me. And really, I would hate to say this, but if it's my truth, at the time, I was like, okay, God, why did this marriage not work? And I'm in this situation, and now you're giving me this vision, or you're giving me I want to say he gave me a vision. He pretty much gave me a word. I was on TV overseas in France. I had a satellite because at the time, you're talking 20 something years ago, I was playing basketball overseas, and the only way you're going to get American TV is through satellite. I was in, I forget the name of the city, but I was right outside Paris. I was near Rouen, which is outside of Paris. And I had my system set up, and I'm in there, and I'm watching the Word Network. And I'm also, if anybody knows about that back in the day, then you had the Inspiration Channel. What was interesting was this gentleman came on the screen, and the Lord said, you're going to be with him one day. He's going to be your covering. And I'm like, whatever. Now, mind you, because of that moment, I'm in a place of coming out of a divorce, not really confident in myself, not really confident, to be honest, and I hate to say this, in Christ at the time because of what I was going through. Now, if I put a side note in, let me just say this. I had warnings about the marriage that I was coming to an end from her mother, from my mother. And so people came and said, hey, that's not what you want to do. And then there was some red flags for me. I want to tell people even that, inserting this, there's some things that you need to listen to. But again, let me say this, my posture wasn't correct. I was in and out. When I say in and out, not drinking, not sleeping around. My faith wasn't where it should have been. I was not dedicated to the place of prayer. I was not dedicated to the place of reading my word. Now, but I knew I needed the Lord, but I wanted to size the Lord up in my own way, do my own thing. And so this is how I got into this place of divorce, because I never should have been married from the first place. Nothing against the individual. It was all of me because I went outside of the will of the Lord. And what the Lord gave me, and I'm giving you this insert, and we'll continue what I want to talk about, is the Lord said, you made a decision on your own. You love the Coke bottle. Y'all know what that is. You like the shape. She was a decent looking young lady, but that wasn't what God ordained. And so I made my choice based upon that. I believed that I could have changed her. And here's the thing, we can't change people, right? It has to be the Spirit of the Lord. I learned the hard way. And so with that, I got that information. I'm watching TV, and the Lord said that. And where I was at the time, I couldn't believe it. I want to spin this thing almost 24, 25 years forward. It came to pass 3 years ago. And it's becoming more clear. And the relationship is so amazing that at first I tried to destroy the relationship because, again, we have a complex at times where we become a grasshopper. If you know the story in the Bible, that we see ourselves as grasshoppers and everybody else is so much bigger. And so the Lord brought back to my attention that I spoke this to you 20 something years ago, and are you going to fumble it again? And so I had a brother in Christ who's been walking me through this. Shout out to Andy Miller. He's been walking with me and just dealing with me, because what helped me, and this is so important as well, right? First thing is your faith. Let me put some pointers out here and give you a framework. The faith and belief in Jesus Christ. You got to know him for yourself. You got to know him outside of church. You got to know him outside of a Bible study. You have to know him for yourself as in a personal relationship, your spouse if you're married. You know your mother or father if you're a single person, right? Having that faith in Jesus Christ, and then knowing what God has called me to do, right? And with this, Dr. Darius talks about this, and the Lord showed me this. I just didn't have a name for it. Who's your biblical avatar? During the pandemic, the Lord brought to me Moses. He says, I need you to study Moses. Moses is going to be able to help you walk some things in your life. And I did that. But then later on, he talked about Ezekiel. I never did Ezekiel because it was more of a prophetic thing. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with that, right? And I knew there were some things that God was trying to birth in me. I've given you something, faith, knowing who you are in Christ, knowing what God has called you to do. When that thing happens, you do not reject what God has given you. Here I am in a place watching God do a thing. If you need help with that, you need someone to walk with you, I want you to contact us. We'll pick this story up down the road. God bless you.